Hello, welcome to Verbling. My name is Teacher Oakley, and in the next hour we will conclude our uh, four-class series on the TOEFL writing test. Uh, in today's class, the students, real simple, real easy for you. We're going to look at several examples of writing, students writing for both task 1 and task 2. Line by line, students will take turns reading a line. We'll critique each and every sentence. We'll critique the paragraphs. We'll critique the entire writing piece. And then just for fun, we'll try to decide what score we would give this particular writing test. Now, I had asked students to submit me a sample of their writing all during the week, but no one did. So I'll be using just some generic examples today. Okay. Welcome to the class, Alexi. Hello. How are you?
Hello, I'm fine, thank you.
Great. Alexi, do you have plans to take a TOEFL exam?
I don't have such plans now, but
Okay.
I think in December I'll try to pass FC First Cambridge English exam.
I see. Okay. I see. Well, okay, so this will be useful. Actually, this class is useful for anyone taking any standardized English exam, or for that matter, who's in any way interested in formal writing, or especially academic writing. So, okay. Now, because this week here on Verbling, I have been teaching a TOEFL class. I just want to mention something about the scoring and how the writing test is scored. All of the TOEFL exam has a raw score, which is then extrapolated into your actual scaled score, which is the score you get at the end of the test when you get your results. The scaled score is equal to 30, but the raw score, which we'll be talking about today as we look at these writing pieces, writing examples. The raw score is basically 0 to 5. 5 is a top score. So obviously, 2 top scores of 5, they would get scaled to 30 points, which is the maximum number of points. Anyway, when they give you your raw score, basically the raw scores go by intervals of 0.5. So 0.5, 1, 1.52, 2.5, up to 5. So I probably will be mentioning that as we continue the class today. Just so you know what I'm talking about when I'm talking about this would probably score a 4. This is a 2, whatever. Okay, before we get started, let me welcome a couple others to the class. Hello, Heidi.
Hello, nice to see you.
Nice to see you as well. And hello, Mario.
Yeah,
Mario?
can you hear me? Yeah, can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Yeah. Okay, I had some problems with my mic. Okay, it's good. I'm from Dresden. And Dresden, Germany, and I want to take the CAE test sometimes.
CAE?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
And that's why.
Again, one of your classmates, FCE, CAE, any of these standardized tests, the writing is pretty much the same. They're pretty much looking for formal academic style writing. So today we're looking at examples. We're gonna critique them together. We're really just gonna take turns. You guys are gonna read sentence by sentence, see if you can pick out the mistakes, and then we'll talk about the more general mistakes as well. Mistakes in paragraphing, organization, cohesion, and the like. So, okay, without further ado, let's get going. I'm going to do a screen share with you of an example. And here we go. All right, hang on. Okay, there we go. We are. Hopefully you guys can see that. Okay. Let's go. I'm just going to have you guys take turns reading sentence by sentence. See if you guys can basically what you guys are doing is a little exercise in editing, and then we're going to talk about what gets a higher score and what it doesn't. So, Alexei, if you could start us off, just please read the first sentence. Oh, wait a minute. I'm sorry. I should tell you, of course, I should show you what the actual question was. So you know if part of the TOEFL, in the TOEFL exam, part of your scoring, and actually CAE as well, part of your scoring, how they score, is based on do you actually answer the task or the question. Okay. Now CAE leans more on vocabulary as one category and sentence structure and grammar as a category. Also cohesion and organization and answering the question. TOEFL's a little bit different. TOEFL, answering the question, pretty much the same. Cohesion and organization, pretty much the same. Actually, they have two things. They separate organization, paragraphing, and cohesion. How well do your sentences fit together with transitions and connectives, so that so it's cohesive or fits together. One sentence follows another naturally. In the TOEFL exam, they only 25% of your score is the actual English. It's a little crazy. Meaning to say the vocabulary and the sentence construction. Anyway, so we have to know what our question is to see if we're answering the question. This is a typical TOEFL Task 2 writing opinion question. Every standardized exam I can think of has the same type of question, an opinion question. So here it is. Do you agree or disagree with the following statement? Here it is. Countries should not isolate themselves from the world, but instead engage other countries. So it's important that you take a position in the TOEFL exam. You really do not want to try to take a comparative approach. You do not want to compare good points and bad points, advantages and disadvantages. While that may be a useful strategy in CAE or IELTS, forget about it in TOEFL. No way do you want to do that. Take a position, either agree or disagree. You can in TOEFL, you will not gain any points by taking a middle ground approach. It will not help you, and it's just a heck of a lot easier to take one position or the other. It is pointless to use a comparative style essay. So here it is. Do you agree or disagree? Countries should not isolate themselves. Countries should engage. So basically, reword the question: should countries isolate or engage? That's it. Don't forget this important part of the instructions. And in fact, this point I'm about to make is valid for every single test, and actually every aspect of the test: listening, speaking, reading, writing, whatever. Always make sure you understand the instructions and that you follow all of the instructions. So for example, use examples and reasons to support your position. Obviously, it's an opinion piece. You need to have supporting reasons. That's kind of obvious. But don't overlook the fact that they expect you to use examples in order to thoroughly and completely answer the question. Again, that is part of the question. That is part of the scoring. Okay, so there's the setup. There's the question. We know what the person is supposed to be writing about. Okay, let's take a look. Alexei, sentence number 1.
I believe that countries should be engaged with other, not isolate.
Uh,
Isolate.
all right. Your pronunciation is good. But what is the problem with this sentence? Now, keep in mind as we go along, there may not be you may be reading a perfect sentence. All right. So,
I think
Alexei, is there a problem here?
Hmm, I don't see any problem here.
All right.
I
Let's
think
throw it. Yeah. Go
I,
ahead, Mario.
I think it should be engage with each other.
The
Should
country
engage each other, not isolate.
either way should your solution is correct. There is a problem here. Should engage with each other would be correct, Mario. I agree with you. Or even if we're leaving it closer to this version, should be engaged
Wish.
with others. You could say it that way. There's always more than one way to skin a cat when you're writing English. That's for sure. I like yours better, actually, Mario. Quite honestly. But at the very least, others should have an S. And then isolate here is a verb. So why engaged, past tense, be engaged. Okay, well, no, it's not. All right, engaged, it's an adjective. But nevertheless, it should be isolated. Not isolated with a D. All right. So there we go. All right. Starting off stating your thesis is okay. A better strategy is in your first paragraph to state what the problem is, or rather restate what the problem is from the question. Something like, some people think that countries should remain engaged economically, socially, and politically with other countries. Others do not. That's the problem. Save your opinion until the end of the first paragraph. I would recommend that strategy. That's another problem. They're giving their opinion in the first sentence. Okay, but not as good as it could be. All right, let's continue. Next sentence, Heidi.
Yeah, this is true to me because, oh, pardon?
Can you see it? Sorry.
Yeah, this is true to me, only that.
Yeah.
I believe that countries should be engaged with us, not isolate. And this is true to
Okay.
me. For me,
Yes, to me should be for me. This is true for me. Okay. And go ahead and read it out loud so we can all hear it.
how about not isolated? I think it is not be isolated. Or not isolated.
Yeah, okay. Should be engaged with others, not be isolated.
I think
yeah, it's not entirely necessary to repeat be here. It can, okay, it's what we're doing here is engaged and isolated are two adjectives. You're using be, a linking verb, so it's okay for me to be angry and
but isolated is
be angry.
Not
angry, not actually here it's an adjective.
Isolated, no, is an adjective.
Yeah, it is. You're right. It could be a verb. To isolate is a verb, but here it is actually country be isolated, isolated country. It can be an adjective. Here it's an adjective. So it's like saying, I should be happy, not angry. That's okay, right? I should be happy, not be angry. Actually, it would be okay either way, but it's okay like this. All right, so that's okay. Your sentence, you're absolutely 100% correct. This is true for me, not to me. That absolutely doesn't make sense to me.
No, isolated verb. So if you want to use adjective. Isolated is the adjective.
Right. It should be isolated. I said that already before, earlier. Yeah. Absolutely. You're right. I had mentioned that before. I thought you heard me. Okay. And your sentence, all right, we've only got the first clause here. This is true for me. Okay. And then the end.
Because there are many advantages to a country. Advantages for a country.
Okay, so what is the problem?
I believe that for countries.
Okay, there are many advantages.
First is countries, and second is a country.
It's okay. You're right here. For a country, or it could be for countries. Either one. Usually, when you're talking in general, it's okay. It's a countable noun. It's okay to use the plural. I don't like cats. Plural. All right. So, yeah, it would probably be better to use the plural. And then the other problem, do you see it?
Working with the others. The others?
Well, no, here, misspelling. They're not advantages.
Yes, the
Advantages. What's an advantage? I don't know what that is. There needs to be a D there. Advantage. Yeah.
With
Okay.
With the others, no need article. No. With the others or with others.
Here's the correct spelling. Hang on. I'm working with others. No, you don't need a. It's not necessary to have a definite article.
Okay.
Yeah, you can just say with others. That's fine. Okay. Moving on. Mario.
Yeah, for example, new technology, trade, and information are shared.
Thank you. Right, subject-verb agreement. Obviously, this is plural. You have a list of things are shared. Okay, very good. Excellent. Okay, a number of little problems, grammatical errors, misspelling. All right, and also I think there is a preferable structure or order. I would highly recommend actually putting your opinion as the last sentence of the first paragraph in an opinion essay. I highly recommend that. Okay, let's move on. Back to Alexei.
First, there are many new technologies that make the countries more connected. First, I see that word technologies written incorrect.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
It should be IES at the end. And second, I think that countries cannot be more connected. They may be connected or not, and maybe I would write closer connected. Connected closer.
I don't have any problem with more connected. I do agree with your addition of more closely connected. Always better if you are writing, especially on a test or an exam. Don't be shy about using adverbs as to describe adjectives and verbs. I agree with that. I think that makes it a little better. I don't have any problem with using the comparative more. Okay. Because more connected than they were before. That's okay. You're absolutely right about technology's misspelling. One good thing about this sentence, the use of first. You have to do this. You really need to be doing this, whether you're taking an exam or writing an academic paper in university. You must be using signal phrases and transitions to connect paragraphs to paragraphs and to connect sentences to sentences. So this is one good thing the person has done. Okay. Heidi. Next sentence.
Yeah. The most important one is the outsourcing.
Okay. Is there any problem? Maybe there's not.
Yeah. Okay.
It's okay. Yes. Technically speaking, it is okay.
I would say the most important one is outsourcing without the.
Oh, without the. Hang on. Let me think about that.
The most.
Oh yeah, you're right. Oh yeah, I didn't. I almost missed that. Yeah, you don't need the here. That is true. Yeah. Yep. A small problem, but yes, nonetheless. Okay.
It sounds weird to me simply.
Good call. That's a good call. Yes, good call. All right. Mario, I'm going to have you go next after I quickly greet Nader. Hello, Nader. Welcome. Welcome to the class. Hi there. Are you speaking today, or are you in the office? Just messaging? Hello, Nader. Okay. Bad connection. Oh, dear. Okay. All right, Mario, take it over from because.
Because of this, people can get jobs even if the company is in another country. Because of this, I would say, not because of it. Can get jobs even. I would prefer this.
I would also prefer this. I think it's clearer. Yes, because you're talking about outsourcing. This is a concept. Because of this concept, whenever you run into something where you can actually think of it instead of it as this concept, this idea, then it's probably better to use this as the pronoun.
Or
I
you
agree.
can say because of it sounds a bit like an animal, for example.
Exactly. It is used for concrete things you can touch. Exactly what we're saying. The same thing, right? A pencil in my hand. It is sharp. It is a sharp pencil. Well, fine. That's fine. Well, technically speaking, it is grammatically correct. I agree with you, Mario. It would be better and a little clearer to use this. There's another glaring problem here. Do you see it?
Because of this, people can get jobs even if the company.
There's actually no problem with any of the other words or tenses or anything.
The company is in another country.
It has to do with the fact you're using a subordinating conjunction to start the sentence. Thus, you have a subordinate clause here. Because of it, people can get jobs.
Yes, okay, it's even if the company is outsourced, even if the company is doing outsourcing, and this makes no sense. Even if the company is in another country, I think it is contradiction. The most important one is outsourcing, and because of. He's outsourcing.
Oh no, it's okay. You can get a job
it's
with
okay,
a company. No, that's okay. My problem I have with this sentence. Where's the independent clause? I have a subordinator. Well, actually, it's a subordinate phrase because of it. Comma should be here because of it. Because of it. Comma. Okay, people can get jobs.
Comma.
All right.
And no comma. All right.
We don't need a comma here. We have another subordinator. Right. So we don't need a comma. But we do need a comma here. Because of it, comma. Yeah, because here's our subject noun. Here's our independent clause. People can get jobs. There it is. We got to be able to locate that independent clause and make sure that it is is punctuated wherever it is in the sentence, that the correct punctuation is there. So small punctuation problem. Okay. Nader, can you read? I mean, I know you can read. Sorry, I know you can read, but are you only able to type today? No. Okay. All right. I'll swing it over to.
Before that, I can understand.
Yeah.
Even if the company is in another country, maybe a company is in.
Oh, in. Yeah. Right. Silly. Right. Thank you. Sometimes it's so obvious, or you know what? Sometimes it's such an obvious mistake, even I miss it. Or particularly if it's phonetically sounds the same when you're reading it, and in. Yeah, I missed that. Very good. Thank you, Heidi. Good catch. Right? I might not catch all this. I need you guys' help. This is why, you know, in reality, frankly, fine, I'm an English teacher. I do this for a living. But even I am going to make mistakes writing. This is why professional writers who write novels rewrite their novel 10, 12, 20 times before they publish a novel. There's a reason for that. Not because all writers are idiots. It's because it's almost impossible to write anything without making an error. That's why reporters have editors. And they're generally edited twice before they're published, at least. There's a reason for that. So I need you guys' help, is what I'm saying. All right. Good catch, Heidi. Alexei from this.
This is very good because it brings jobs to countries and helps the people.
Okay. Any problems with that? I
Maybe brings jobs. I don't know.
I think it's okay.
Good.
Yeah, I think it's fine. It's fairly simple and direct. But frankly, in reference to the TOEFL exam, and here it allows me to make a point, this sentence is fine. Finally, we've got a sentence without any problems. This sentence is fine. It is direct, it is simple, it is clear. Actually, this is good for a TOEFL exam. This is what TOEFL wants. Direct, clear, nothing too fancy. As opposed to Mario, you know, you're considering the CAE. The CAE and the TOEFL exams, there's a different mindset. They would prefer you to take more chances, use a higher level of vocabulary or a more complex sentence structure. Even if you make a mistake, they will reward you for trying to do something more difficult. This is a key difference between TOEFL and IELTS and CAE. All right, IELTS just wants you to be boring and direct. No, I'm sorry, I said that backwards. TOEFL wants boring and direct. CAE and IELTS will encourage a little more creativeness, a little bolder approach. All right, so I want to make that point. Okay, moving on. Okay, well, there's our first sentence. Our first paragraph. It seems to be one complete thought. It's all about that idea of new technologies, I guess. So, okay, at least that's cohesive. In general, that's a pretty decent paragraph. All right, Heidi, can you take over from also?
Also, trade is very useful to a country.
Yeah, again, this person is probably going to make the same mistake over and over and over again. We use for to show benefit. Something's good for you, it benefits you. If it's good to you, okay, if your wife is good for you, she benefits you. If your wife is good to you, it means she treats you nicely, she interacts nicely, transfer. She gives you food, she talks nicely to you, and things like that. All right, so benefit, you're right. should be using for. Again, as far as TOEFL is concerned, obviously a simple sentence with also the connective to connect the paragraphs. That's very necessary again. And very short, direct, to the point. This is what my paragraph is about. No ifs, ands, or buts. Okay, for TOEFL, this is good. Okay. Mario, before I move on to you, let me let me quickly welcome Paulo. Hello, Paulo.
Okay.
Hello, Alan. Nice to see you again. Thank you.
Good to see you. How are you? How are you doing, sir?
Fine, thank you.
Great. We'll let you have a bite at the apple in just a little bit. Okay, Mario.
Yeah,
Without
okay.
trade from here. Okay.
Without trade, a country's apostrophe is used here. Economic will hurt.
Okay. What?
I think. And then I would say without trading.
Without trade. No, trade, the idea of trade as a noun, it's a little bit weird in English. I do realize that. But we use it as a noun. No, it's okay. Without trade, comma, that's okay. Countries, you need an apostrophe, you mentioned, to make it possessive, which is correct. You need to make a possessive here with countries. Okay.
I would say will decline also.
What line? Sorry.
I would say the country's economy will decline.
Yeah. Okay. Not economic. Economic is the adjective. IC suffix is used for adjectives. Yeah. This should be the noun. A country's possessive. Economy. Will be hurt is perfectly sufficient for a TOEFL exam. You are taking the CAE, Mario, so if you want to say will decline, that's better for you. So I agree. You want to use more sophisticated, more formal language as much as possible. So I agree with your substitution. There's nothing wrong with will be hurt, really, but I agree. Decline would be a better, more formal word. Okay. Follow.
But the country is the economy.
Yeah, we said that. Economy, not economic. We need the noun. Yep. We got that. Paulo, from there.
There are now many planes, ships, and trains that can send goods around the world. Countries should use these in order to help their economy.
Yeah, you read that exactly as he wrote it, which is very funny, which makes it sound funny. So, yeah, okay, great. And trains that send goods around the world, countries should use these in order to help their economy. You got to write it how you speak it. Paula gave us a great example of what's wrong with that. Thanks. Okay, Paula, what are the problems? Let's proceed slowly. There are now many planes, ships, trains. Okay, that's so far okay. That can send goods around the world. What's the problem here?
That is not agree with the substantives, plural substantives.
No. This is okay. What we're doing there, he's putting a relative clause in the middle of the sentence here, and so he could use that or which.
Okay.
And you can use relative pronouns can be used for singular or plural. That's all right. But we do have a problem in this phrase, for sure. Very common one too.
Okay, the past. There are now, the present, use the past.
Okay. I would like to go. You don't say I would liked to go. It might rained. Past tense? No, it might rain. I can swim, not I can swimmed. We don't use a past tense after a modal, like ever. So this is just simply impossible. Sent should be send. Okay.
Okay.
Common mistake, actually. Okay. Like it's send goods around the world. Countries should use these in order to. And what's the problem with that? What we have here. Then we have this that can send goods around the world. Countries should use these in order to help their economy. What the heck? What do we?
After world, a full stop after world.
Yeah. If
And
it
a new
were
sentence.
me, yeah, I agree with you, Mario. I would just end the sentence there. Either that, you really want to continue the sentence, you have another independent clause here. You got a noun and then a verb. Great. If you really want to join it together, you need to use either a semicolon, which we can use to join two independent clauses, or you need to use a comma and comma, and countries should use these in order to, or maybe result, comma, so countries should use these. I actually don't like that very much either. But the other alternative, you can join them and create a compound sentence, or you can just make a period. If it's a long enough sentence, create another sentence. You have options, but definitely you got to do something here. This is it just goes on and on. It's a run-on sentence with no punctuation. That's not right. Okay, so let's say we divide it into two sentences. Keep it simpler. Countries should use these in order to help their economy. What's the problem?
There.
Yeah.
There. From say.
Yeah, it's a homophone. They sound right. I mean, they sound exactly alike, but of course they're two different things. There and there. There. There, you want the possessive, right? Yeah. Right. Okay. Swinging it back to Alexi. Alexi, last sentence of this paragraph.
With lots of trade, a country will be made more prosperous. First, I see that order of letters is incorrect in the word prosperous.
Indeed it is. You are correct. Misspelled. Another misspelling. This is what, 3, 4 misspellings we've seen? Yep.
I would remove word made, and that's all I see.
Well, that is an option. You could. We'll be more prosperous. We'll be made more. It's okay with made.
Okay.
It's okay without it, frankly.
Okay, I don't see any other misspelling here.
Okay, neither do I, but I do see a point I would like to make to all you that are getting ready to do one of these types of exams, especially IELTS and CAE. I don't really know about TOEFL, to tell you the truth, but here is a general point for you that is applicable to the reading exam, the whole entire test, as a matter of fact. If you're dealing with academic material, by nature, science and academia, try not to speak in absolutes. Something always happens. Something never happens. Okay? So the fact that they're using will here, I might use a modal that shows a degree of probability. Right. I agree. It is best in any of these exams, in my opinion, it is best instead of using absolutes to use modals like might or use adverbs. Probably, might, could, may well, and then probably, it's likely that. These types of constructions are much better than absolutes that something will, has to, must. 0%, 100%. Try to avoid that. And as a matter of fact, in the reading exams, when you see answers that use these 100%, 0%, always, never, ultimatums, they're probably wrong answers. They're probably trick answers. So be aware of that. They don't like absolutes. Okay. All right. Let's move on. Heidi, next paragraph.
Lastly, there is much information now available in the world. Information now available. Information now available. Bingo now available. It's information. I think it's very strange. So, for example, there's much available information, or
Oh, just the word order?
yeah.
There's much information now available in the world. Well, okay.
For example, we use now available. It means, for example, the telephone is now available. So it's now available. But
yeah,
telephone now available. We can't say that.
Well, I think you have options here. There is now much information available in the world. I think there's much information now available in the world. There's much available. There's not much information.
Now available.
Well, I was going to say in the world now available, but that one is the worst option. Okay. Now there is much information available in the world. You could move this around. Really, it's just being used as an adverb. It's possible to move it around. I don't think this would result in any deductions in points in any exam. Again, I point out the use of the transitional, the signal word lastly, good. You have to do this. You will lose points. Every one of these exams, you will lose points if you're not doing this. First, also, lastly. I guarantee you that. I think we're okay. Yeah, you have different options of word order, but I think we're okay. All right. Mario.
Without working with other countries, comma, it might not be possible to use, I would prefer these.
Use this.
Or to use this.
What is this anyway? Use what?
Yeah.
What is this?
To use this information. Yeah. Okay. It's correct.
Yeah, information's uncountable, so we can't say
it's uncountable.
Yeah. You are absolutely correct about the comma. When you have a dependent clause first in the sentence, you must have a comma. After the clause, yes, you put it in the right place. Without working with other countries, comma, it might not be possible to use this. Yeah, that's kind of a weak sentence. It's not completely clear what this is. If it were me, I would say not be possible to use this information, just to make sure it was clear. But yeah, I understand your.
I would say at least this opportunity also. Yeah.
Oh, that's another way to say it. Okay. All right. That brings up another point. For all of these exams, they will penalize you if you use the same word over and over and over and over again. Twice is no big deal, okay? But you use the word information 6 or 7 times in your essay, you're going to lose points. You've got to figure out other ways to say it. Data, information, knowledge, even different, say it in different phrases, pieces of information, informative, elements, I don't care, whatever you got to do. Even use different noun, adjective, adverb, verb forms of the same word. Actually, they like that. So, okay, Mario would like to, instead of this information, this opportunity, use a different word. Great. That can be nothing but good. They're looking for a variety of vocabulary in all of these exams. So if you can think of a better or different alternative, which really is synonymous instead of repeating a word, always that's a good answer. Okay. Paulo, next line.
I know that in my situation, I learn about many things going on in the world.
Did you? Okay. All right. I don't know.
I
Kind of a funny sentence. I don't know why, but all right.
okay. I know that in my situation. Not specific content.
It's quite vague, isn't it? Yeah. Okay. Now look, guys. In the very beginning of the class, I said you have to answer. You have to give an example in order to fully answer the question. And clearly, that's what this example writer is trying to do here. But I kind of agree with Paulo. As an example, it's a pretty crappy one. To be blunt, it's just very super vague. Okay, nothing wrong with the grammar here. It's the content that is just really, really wishy-washy, blah, vague. All right, we can hope for better.
I would prefer here, I know that because I have learned.
Possibly.
Yeah, so I know that now because I have it learned. That's better.
Or you know what it would
be?
I'll tell you what would be even better than that, Mario. You know what? In these tests, you do not have to tell the truth. The thought police are not going to come to your house and make sure that you didn't lie on your CAE exam. You know what would be much better? Because I work as an IT specialist, I know how important this is. Well, there you go. There's a very specific transfer of information. Because I work in the IT industry, I understand transfer information is an essential element of any business. How about that as a much more specific example? It doesn't have to be true. I'm a teacher. Who cares? Doesn't matter. Feel free to lie. Lie at will on these exams. Please, sometimes it's better to lie. No one's testing your truth-telling abilities. Nobody cares. Okay, that's my comment. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree totally. You should pretend something. It's sometimes much easier. It's sometimes much easier to pretend another opinion than your own.
Exactly. Precisely. The right answer is not the truth, ever, in these exams. The right answer, when speaking or writing, that is, the right answer is the one that is easiest for you to speak or write about. 100%. Couldn't agree more with that supposition.
And it might be evil. I think it might be evil or morally wrong as well. Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's correct.
If you have a bad opinion, then you are a bad guy, but a good English speaker.
That's right. Who cares? That's right. Absolutely correct. 100% agree. Okay. Alexei, once again, you get the last sentence of the paragraph, starting with I.
I was helped by this in my studies. I would say it helped me in my studies.
Yeah, it's also very vague by this. You know, you've got to be clear who your pronouns or your referential languages, your reference words or phrases. It has to be very clear who you're referencing, who or what you are referencing. I was helped by this. Oh, I guess I was helped by the fact that I learned about many things. Yeah, okay. Again, The sentence itself, I was helped by this in my studies, is grammatically okay, but again, kind of vague. Helped by learning many things, I guess. Okay. Again, kind of vague. All right. Actually, in the TOEFL exam, this is probably okay. The vagueness factor would be a problem in IELTS or CAE. Really, the TOEFL exam is so boring. What they're looking for is really quite dry and boring and direct. Sorry. Heavy sigh. Oh, okay. And what appears to be our final paragraph. Heidi?
Okay, in conclusion, I think it maybe verb is obvious.
Uh-huh.
Countries must engage, not isolate. Yes, it's okay.
Yeah, that's okay. I think it obvious. Well, all right. You know what? This is a weird construction here. Heidi wants to put is. That does make it a little clearer. I think it is obvious. However, in English, I don't know. This is one of those weird phrases that defies all grammatical rules. I think it obvious. This is sort of a standardized, not an idiom, but a colloquialism. It's a colloquialism, is what it is. People actually say this in English. I think it obvious. Informal, and only not speaking actually, but informal writing. I think this would actually be okay. To be safe, it would be much better to have is for sure. Okay. Okay. He restates. All right, here he is restating his basic thesis. Okie doke. I like that. Now, whereas I said stating your opinion or your thesis, I would recommend this the last sentence in the first paragraph. I'm okay with it being the first sentence in your last paragraph. I think that's good organization. Okay. Did somebody have a comment? I kept talking. I don't know. Okay. Mario, for the reasons above.
For the reasons above, such as trade, technology is misspelled.
Yeah.
The H is missing. Yeah.
Indeed. Yep.
And information, comma.
Yes.
It is obvious that countries should work with other countries and not isolate each other.
Okay, might be better. I agree. Again, what I had mentioned earlier, engage and isolate are each used 3 times at least. It would be very nice if this writer could pick some other kind of synonymous word. That would be nice. But the organization, I don't. Okay, restating your thesis and then generalizing your reasons. Okay, I like the format of his conclusion. Of course, minus the misspelling and the need for punctuation, but all right. What do you think out of a possible 5 points? Here we go. Here's the fun part. Out of a possible 5 points, knowing that in the TOEFL exam, answering the question, 25%, paragraphing, 25%, cohesion using transitionals, also lastly in conclusion, those things are transitionals, 25%, and 25% being vocabulary and grammar for TOEFL. Again, this is quite different for FCE, IELTS, and CAE, but for TOEFL, now they score, the raw score, 0, 0.5, 1, 1.5, 3, 3.5, up to 5. 5 is a perfect essay. Nader would like to give this one a 3.5. Okay. Paulo, what do you say? What do you think? What are you going to give it? Take a guess. It doesn't really matter. We'll review what this was actually scored and why. Paolo, do you have a guess? Let's see who's closest.
Well,
Like horseshoes, we're going to see who's closest to the actual score. What do you think?
I don't know exactly.
No idea?
No
Venture
idea.
a guess? Just
No, I don't have
all
idea.
right, okay. Alexi, what do you think? If you had to guess, take a wild guess. Doesn't matter.
3.5.
Also 3.5. Heidi,
Yes.
what's your guesstimate?
3 to 4.
3 to 4. 3 to 4. She gives me a range. Oh, very clever. Okay, Mario, what do you think?
I think 3.0.
3.0. And actually, the score that this really got on the TOEFL test was a 4. Okay.
Oh.
Solid 4. It's not, no doubt, not edge 4, solid 4. And here, my friends, is why. The essay does stay on topic with only a minor digression or two. Okay, this cohesion, the cohesive elements using those transitionals. This is really important in all of these tests. I know I'm boring and I say it over and over again, but I just can't really overemphasize it. It is well organized, clear introduction, body paragraphs. The paragraphing is really perfect, I really have to say. Obvious transitions, as I mentioned several times. There are 3 good examples, which is part of answering the question, and some details for each of them. Okay, you make a point, you add some detail, possibly an example. You make another paragraph, make your point, first sentence, add some detail, possibly an example. That's it. So that's what they like. However, what are the problems? Which prevented the writer from a top score. The essay, well, you wouldn't know this. We didn't bother to count. But for the TOEFL opinion essay, it has to be 300 words. If, yeah, that's what we're looking at, the reasons to justify the score. Here's the good points, and now we're going to look at the bad points. It's too short. All of these exams, by the way, IELTS, CAE, FCE, all of them have a word count. They may give you instructions. A good essay should be 150 words. We suggest you make 150 words. Those are not suggestions. Those are hardcore. You will lose points if you don't reach your word count. Consider those to be gold in this case. Okay, Nader is asking, in the TOEFL exam, do students get feedback like this? Yes, they do. They will get a score and they will get feedback exactly like this with bullet points. I mean, this is exactly what, basically, this, to tell you the truth, this is pretty much exactly what it looks like. What we're looking at right now. In the 4th paragraph, can't speak. In the 4th paragraph, the author digresses from the topic and provides an inappropriate personal example. That was the one, my friends, where we said this is vague and kind of stupid, right? We picked it. Okay. The conclusion basically repeats the same information in both sentences. Again, repeating the same exact vocabulary is going to get you in trouble. So I think we kind of nailed all these points when we analyzed it. So you guys are genius editors. Okay. So I think we pretty much got all these points and talked about them. You guys are brilliant. Absolute geniuses. Okay. So my time is up for this class. Yeah, shoot.
Okay, small. So TOEFL is needed when you want to become a citizenship in America also, yeah?
No, actually.
No.
I'm telling you, it will be necessary if you want to go to university in the United States or get a master's degree. But it is not necessary for citizenship. Australia,
If you want
for
to study,
example, yeah.
Hmm?
Go ahead.
Yeah, this is more for students that want to study
Yes.
in the USA. Then you have to. Okay.
Yes, but the IELTS and the TOEFL, and now more and more to a greater and greater degree, the CAE, all of these exams are becoming interchangeable, not only in academia, getting into university or graduate school, but also now, for example, Australia allows the TOEFL exam as their English assessment exam. It used to be IELTS exclusively. So the trend is more and more for all of these exams to be used for everything. Okay? Definitely trending in the last few years since I've been watching it carefully. Okay, anyway, thank you very much. This concludes my week-long series on TOEFL writing, and I hope you guys learned a little something today about exam writing or just academic writing in general. Thank you. You guys were great.
Thank you very
Really
much.
Thank
good.
you. Bye.
Thank you.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Bye.
Bye-bye,
Ahoy.
guys.